The annual salary for a member of Congress is $174,000. For most Americans, that's a pretty good living. But for the people on this list, it's basically a rounding error. While just under half of all members of Congress are millionaires, a select few have amassed fortunes that are truly staggering, reaching into the hundreds of millions of dollars. So how does that even happen? How do public servants on a fixed government salary build up wealth that rivals Wall Street titans? Are they all secret financial wizards? Did they just get incredibly lucky? Or is there something else going on here? Today, we're digging into the finances of the 5 wealthiest politicians in the United States Congress. We're not just throwing numbers at you, we're breaking down exactly how they built their massive fortunes. Some of these stories are inspiring, others are pretty controversial, but all of them are revealing. Kicking off our list at number 5 is Virginia Senator Mark Warner, a Democrat with an estimated net worth of around $215 to $250 million. Now, before he ever set foot in the Senate, Warner was a force in the world of tech and venture capital. His story isn't one of inherited wealth, but of being in the right place, at the right time, with a killer idea. So what's his origin story? After graduating from Harvard Law, Warner skipped the fancy law firms and instead dove headfirst into the brand new world of cellular technology in the 1980s. He became a broker for cell phone licenses when the industry was just getting started. Seeing its massive potential, he co-founded the company that would later become Nextel. But the real genius move came next. He started a venture capital firm called Columbia Capital. Warner and his firm made a string of unbelievably smart early-stage investments in tech and telecom companies. He just had the magic touch, backing companies that went on to produce huge returns. By the time he ran for governor of Virginia in 2001, his fortune was already made. His wealth was built not during his time in office but before it, by being a key player in one of the biggest tech booms in history. At number 4 is Republican Representative Vern Buchanan of Florida, with a net worth estimated to be in the neighborhood of $260 million. Unlike some others on this list who made their money in complicated financial markets, Buchanan's story is a classic American tale of entrepreneurship, built around something we all recognize: the car dealership. So how did he do it? Vern Buchanan is the classic self-made businessman. He started in the auto industry and, through decades of hard work, built a huge network of car dealerships. At one point, he was one of the biggest dealership owners in the country. But he didn't just stop there. He diversified, branching out into all sorts of other businesses, including real estate and even a charter jet company. His wealth is a testament to old-school business building. He saw an opportunity, dominated a market, and used those profits to build an even bigger empire. As a member of the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, which handles tax policy, his business success often comes under the microscope, with watchdog groups pointing out how certain tax policies could directly benefit his own bottom line. Our number 3 spot belongs to one of the most powerful figures in modern American politics: former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. The California Democrat has an astonishing net worth estimated to be around $250 to $280 million. Considering her congressional salary is $174,000, this number raises one of the biggest questions in Washington. So, what's the secret? The story of Pelosi's wealth is inseparable from her husband, venture capitalist Paul Pelosi. While the Congresswoman's office has repeatedly stated that she has no involvement in her husband's financial transactions, their assets are reported jointly, and he is one of the most successful and closely watched investors in the country. A massive portion of their wealth comes from his incredibly savvy and often controversial stock market investments, especially in tech giants like Nvidia and Google. What makes this so controversial is the timing. Paul Pelosi has made millions from bets on companies that are directly impacted by legislation Congress is working on. A widely cited example involved a multi-million-dollar investment in the tech company Nvidia, right as Congress was debating a bill to provide huge subsidies to the semiconductor industry, a bill that would directly benefit a company like Nvidia. This has led to widespread suspicion, with critics arguing that Paul Pelosi might be benefiting from information his wife gets as a high-ranking member of Congress. Her office denies this, But the performance of their portfolio is so staggering that it has fueled an entire online community dedicated to tracking their family's stock trades. It has also made her a central figure in the debate over whether lawmakers and their spouses should even be allowed to trade individual stocks. Cracking the top two is California Republican Darrell Issa, with an eye-watering net worth of approximately $300 million. Issa has been in Washington for a long time, but like many on this list, the seeds of his fortune were planted long before his political career, in a garage with an invention that would change car security forever. So how'd he do it? Darrell Issa is the man who gave cars a voice. In the 1980s, he founded a company called Directed Electronics, and his signature product was the Viper car alarm. You probably remember it. It was the first alarm that didn't just blare, it talked. That iconic phrase, "protected by Viper." Stand Back became a pop culture staple. Issa, an Army veteran, built the company from the ground up. Sales hit $1 million in the first year and grew to over $60 million a year by the time he sold the company in 1999. That sale made him a multimillionaire practically overnight. But he didn't stop there. He took that fortune and grew it, mainly through a real estate investment company that holds valuable properties across the country. For years, Issa was ranked as the wealthiest member of Congress, and his story is a classic example of an inventor who turned one great idea into an empire that funded his entry into national politics. And finally, coming in at number 1, the wealthiest member of the United States Congress is Florida Senator Rick Scott. With a staggering estimated net worth that ranges between $300 and $550 million, he is in a league of his own. His wealth makes him one of the richest politicians in American history, and the story of how he got it is by far the most controversial. So, how did he do it? Rick Scott's fortune was made in the healthcare industry. In 1988, he co-founded Columbia Hospital Corporation. Through a series of aggressive mergers, he grew the company into Columbia/HCA, the largest for-profit healthcare company in the entire country. The company expanded at a breathtaking pace, making Scott and his partners fabulously wealthy. But that rapid growth came at a price. In 1997, the company was the subject of a massive federal investigation into its billing practices. Ultimately, Columbia/HCA pleaded guilty to 14 corporate felonies and was forced to pay a record-breaking $1.7 billion fine for systematically defrauding Medicare and other government health programs. Scott was forced to resign as CEO amidst the scandal. While he was never personally charged with a crime, he walked away with an exit package that included cash and stock worth around $300 million. He then used that fortune to launch his political career, first as governor of Florida, and now as a U.S. senator. Looking at this list, you really start to see a pattern. The super wealthy in Congress almost never get that way on a government salary. They come to Washington already rich. They are successful entrepreneurs like Vern Buchanan and Darrell Issa, venture capitalists like Mark Warner, or in the case of Rick Scott, corporate executives who cashed out with hundreds of millions. And this gets to a much bigger question about our democracy. It costs an insane amount of money to run for office, which gives a huge advantage to people who can fund their own campaigns. We see a sharp contrast with some younger members of Congress who have talked openly about finishing their campaigns in debt and struggling to even afford an apartment in Washington. When about half the people making our laws are millionaires, how does that change their perspective on issues that affect everyday Americans? And the debate over stock trading continues. When members and their spouses can trade stocks in companies their committees oversee, can we ever be sure they're acting in the public's interest and not their own? From talking car alarms to controversial healthcare empires, the sources of wealth in Congress are as varied as they are huge. The 5 individuals we've looked at today show just how deeply personal fortune and political power are connected in America. But what do you think? Do you believe members of Congress and their spouses should be banned from trading individual stocks? Does the immense wealth of our politicians create a disconnect with the people they represent? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video revealing, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives that show how power and money really work.